welcome to our first episode of Jackson Ultima's Hot Seat with One Team Movement. My name is Lisa Carriere, and I am the founder of One Team Movement, a nonprofit organization dedicated to growing and supporting synchronized skating around the world. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to interview some amazing people in the synchronized skating world, starting with Pascal Denis. So I'm so excited to be here today with Pascal Denis. He's a Canadian former ice dancer who won a bronze medal at the 2000 Canadian Figure Skating Championships and finished 23rd at the 2004 World Figure Skating Championships with José Pichet. He also competed on the national team for 10 years. He now coaches some of the best ice dance teams in the world at the Montreal Ice Dance Academy and is also co-head coach of the Les Suprêmes junior and senior teams based out of St. Leonard, Quebec. They are one of the most decorated and successful synchronized skating organizations in Canada. Pascal, welcome. I'd love to know, where are you joining from today?
From my house in Repentigny, Quebec.
So that's actually one of my first questions. How has the pandemic affected you as a coach, like on a personal level?
Well, we had to be very creative, I guess. Like everybody had to. Like we wanted to keep our skaters motivated, whether it's in ice dance or synchronized skating. We had to find ways. Maybe it was a good time to work on off-ice stuff, like things like ballet or dance or new types of things that they need to work. And when we skate so much, we don't have time. And so it was basically the same for either the ice dancers or the teams. We went with the same strategy, keeping them there and motivated as much as possible. And also I started to do some skating skills class for the synchronized skating. That's pretty much where we are. And also like I did, because I have like foreigners, like skaters from other countries, like they went back to their country to travel and to go away from the pandemic, even though it's everywhere. So I have to give a lot of classes at home, like giving them lessons and even like coaching competition. I coached the Cup of China and NHK Trophy by Zoom at the competition. So that was the first official practices. Yeah, that was the first. And at Christmas, I will coach Japanese nationals also by Zoom. So we have someone holding the iPad over there and another coach as well, because of course nothing will ever replace to have a real coach by the board.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to hear about your journey and your transition from being a competitive athlete to getting into coaching. So how did it first start for you?
Well, I started to coach very early, actually, because that was my way of actually paying for my skating, a big part of it. Also, I was going to university, but because I think school is super important. So I went to university until I was 31 or 32 years old. Maybe more, I forget, because at the end I was going like one class per semester, but still going, because learning for me is super important. And actually all of those things really helped me throughout my coaching career. Like I did the biology, but I also did the public relations. So that was very interesting. And I use it every day, even though I didn't think I was going to use that. So transition was kind of natural, but also very scary. Like I think for changes, like is always scary at first. I thought I was not going to be that busy when I decided to retire from skating. I remember being with a friend at the breakfast place, and I was like, I don't know what my life's going to be like. What am I going to do with those 6 hours a day off now? Like, I'm going to have so much free time. But then after 2 months after, that was obviously booked. I always believe in also like in doing different things. That's how I find life more interesting, and that's why I really like doing ice dance and synchro. Even though it's skating, it's a different dynamic completely, like working with individual, like because a couple you have like this one-on-one, but it's not the same energy. Like when you have the team, like you have those 20 people in front of you, like either being like super energetic or being a little bit more tired, or but you get like those different feelings. So I don't feel I do the same job even though I work 7 days, because of those two different things. I feel it's a different job for me, and that's the way I worked with my switch from skating to coaching.
You said two really important things, because I think a lot of athletes transitioning out of competitive sport have a hard time with that transition if they don't have something to keep them busy and keep them like fulfilled. Whereas when you have something, whether it's school that you can pour yourself into or a job or something that you're passionate about, it makes the transition a lot easier. And the second thing is just the fact that you're able to always do something different, it never gets old, and you always can feel like you're, learning and
Mhm.
enjoying your work, which is so important.
Yeah, I think it's super important to always, well, because when you're an athlete, you set goals and you
Right.
have goals. So you need to have those life goals after.
Yep.
And my life goals were actually, I didn't know, but I wrote everything when I was like 12, 13 years old, thinking that, like when you're 13, like be careful what you write, actually, people. Because I was like, that's just like writing goals. It's nothing. But then everything I wanted actually happened. Yeah.
So now, I mean, did you ever imagine that you would be like an international coach that travels the world and gets to work with skaters, whether it's through ice dance or through synchro? Was that something that was on your mind back then?
Actually, yes. Actually, yes. Of course, if that didn't happen, like I really enjoy and I still miss that. Actually, it's too bad that we only have 24 hours in a day. But I really miss working in clubs with the kids and working like even partnering people. Like that was a lot of fun for me to see like the energy and how happy to skate these people are with different goals. So that I still miss that. It's just a question of time, unfortunately. So if it would have stayed like this, I think I would still have been very happy because it was bringing me a lot of happiness, like when I was working with any level of skating. But of course, in the back of my mind, my goal is to be an Olympic coach and to be like an international coach working with people and helping also other people in other countries to develop and to get better, because I think skating is a beautiful sport.
So I'd love to hear a little bit about your transition into synchro, because you
Mm-hmm.
have this, extensive background in ice dance, and then we see you coaching with Les Suprêmes. So how did that all happen?
I mean, I was working, like I told you, like in the singles, like doing choreography and skating skills for some athletes here in my region. And Marilyn Langlois, my partner, she was at the time working in singles as well. So we met there and we were just like talking, nothing special, just like regular coaching talk. And then she saw a trick that I did with my partner in a show, and she wanted me to come and help. Or she was a novice coach at the time, and she said, like, "Can you come and help me, like in that 2x2 trick? I'd like to learn how to do it and show it to our girls." So that was my first time working with synchro. Then after that, stayed like that. And then a year after, Marilyn wanted to improve the skating skills in Les Suprêmes. Like the director we had at the time, Linda Del Vecchio, she spoke with Marilyn, and she spoke also with Lorraine Estigui, that is our power skating coach. And they discussed, and they were thinking about someone to hire someone for skating skills. And then they thought about me, Lorraine and Marilyn. They said like it would be a good thing, not only for skating skills, but I had a good approach with the team, because I think it's a different skill also. You can be a very good individual coach, but not necessarily good for a team. It depends, like the energy. And so they thought I could do a good job on this, and that's how it started. Then they got me for a one practice a week, like just to help gradually. And then finally the next season I started to do the old element. And then after, finally we got the senior team, I think after 2-3 years. And then we needed more coaching staff, of course, to have two teams to manage. Just Marilyn and Amélie and me there just once a week was not enough. So then I started to do more, and I was lucky enough to have those partners really helping me to learn quickly. And even sometimes throwing me on the ice, like without any notion like of synchro. And they were like, okay, just go. Do the practice by yourself. Even though like the first, I remember, like I think that was the second season, but very beginning, they were actually doing a circle. I thought it was a transition. So I was like, in that transition, it's a little scratchy in the corner. Finally, but the girls were like super nice. They're like, but this is a circle. I was like, oh, okay, sorry.
Right.
but that's how I got to learn a lot, and I got very interested in the discipline. And I also decided to learn a lot by watching a lot of videos and trying to find like how to make things work. And at one point it's biomechanic, like, and mechanic, depending what you're working on. So once you understand that, I think you can make things happen.
For sure. So what would you say was kind of the biggest part of your learning curve transitioning into coaching synchro?
The biggest thing, very easy, is to have actually a very organized schedule, especially in competition. Because when you coach ice dancers or single, they are doing their own things. You meet them at the rink 1 hour before, you help the warm up. If there is something, of course, during the day, we talk, but otherwise than that, you don't necessarily need to be there through all the steps. And at the time it was junior on top of that, which is like a little bit younger. So you really need to be there. It's not like a senior team with just adult people that can, that have a lot of experience. So that was something like all getting at the same time for dinner, all at the same time for lunch. We all wake up at the same time, like, okay. So that was something that I really felt was very different. Like, not that when you coach individual sport, it is like more relaxed, but it's a different energy. Like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah. So what, on the other side of that, what would you say was something that maybe surprised you?
Oh, something that surprised me, of course, the crowd in competition. So my first actual synchronized event as a coach was Winterfest, the junior qualifier. So that was a big one. I was like, oh my God. Wow. And then my most amazing one was in Hamilton for Worlds.
Of course.
Like, that was, I remember going for the short program, and I just cannot wait for the next Worlds in Canada to live that again.
So, question for you. So, I mean, obviously you work with different coaches, some in synchro, some not. But if you had to give a message to a fellow coach that doesn't coach synchro, what would you say keeps you coming back to coaching synchro year after year?
What keeps, because actually I'm also very lucky about that, because my colleagues are very supportive of my colleagues in ice dance. They're super supportive of my synchro coaching career also. They really think it's a very amazing sport, and they see it evolve year after year. And like every sport and like everything in sport, like everything evolves, and the level of skating improved so much. Like, some people that didn't see skating, like synchronized skating, for a few years, and then they see, they're amazed by how difficult everything is. And for coaches like that are passionate about skating, but also about, like, because for me synchronized skating is a mix of a lot of thinking, like about strategies a lot, because like like you have, when you do choreography for synchronized skating, is very different. Like, of course there is a strategy when you do for a couple, like for a single, like how you place your elements and so on, but for synchronized, it's also to calculate all of this. So there is like this mathematical thing in my head, because I really like math at school, also in sciences, but
someone has to on a team, right? Like, it's mandatory.
But that's what's the other thing that synchronized skating is bringing me. So that's something probably I would say to other coaches, and how energetic, like I say like a few times today, but that's the case. Like, it's so much energy, so much love in the team, so much like you bring everything together, and it's just like, as a coach, you feel part of the team, obviously, and it's a big pleasure to be a part of it.
So, I mean, we've talked about all of it, or some of the great things about synchro. I mean, we don't need any convincing here about the fact that it's a great sport. But what do you think holds back more skaters from trying out synchro before retiring? I mean, you cannot make top 10 in Canada at nationals, but still be a phenomenal skater. And yet we see so many skaters that retire from the sport and maybe never get to compete internationally, or they never get to compete at a world championship. That would have been me had I never tried synchro. So what do you think holds back skaters from trying synchro?
Well, this is a very complicated situation. I think there is a lot of things going on there. I personally encourage a lot of skaters, and I did in the past when I was still coaching singles and taking doing choreography for some of them. Like, some of them came to Les Suprêmes after, because I was like, you've worked so hard, like you were training, like, when they do that sport program at school, so they skate half of the day, they go to school. I was like, you skated 15 hours a week. And unfortunately, you were never able to go to nationals, because here in Quebec, like, if you're a novice, you have like 200 skaters and you have to make the top 8 out of it. So it's not easy. And doesn't mean that you're not good. Maybe it's just like, it was not a good timing. You were not in the good time. Maybe it's a question also, you can have a talent, but your talent maybe was more into synchronized skating also. So I think there is a lot of talent. How do you say, like to get the talents even when people are young. I think we need to really find people, and we need the support probably of our federation, but they are really trying also.
Yeah.
But to help to like send the people in the right direction, because for a different reason, if you're 5'9", maybe you cannot do pair skating, but maybe you're good, but maybe not ice dancer either, and maybe not single, but maybe synchronized skating is for you. And the same thing, maybe you really like synchronized skating, but maybe you could do also pair skating. You know, like it depends. Like we need to send the people in the right track to make sure that they are able to develop and get the best that they can for them. Like I did myself single skating until I was 16. Then after I decided to go into ice dance. One of my skater was a hockey player and an ice dancer. And then at the age of 16, same thing. He decided to come in ice dance, but he did both. And I think it's great. I think it's the best thing. Also, especially these days that synchronized skating is asking for a lot of single abilities. It asks for actually a very complete skater. You need to be flexible. You need to be able to spin. If you can jump, even better. But you need also to have a lot of skating skills and ice dance quality for edges, for turns. So you need to be very complete, actually, probably even more than some other discipline.
So do you think, I think we see the crossover between synchronized skating kind of incorporating all of the disciplines, and especially ice dance. We're seeing more and more ice dance features that are in synchro. Do you think that ice dancers feel the same way? Like, do they see the similarity between ice dance or synchro, or do you think they see it as a totally different sport, a different beast altogether?
Well, I could say that my ice dancers, no, because a lot of the exercises that I use in ice dance, I use in synchro and vice versa. I can get my ice dancers to hold at the bicep to work on some stuff just so they feel not how difficult it is, but they feel something else in their body working. So it's very useful, and they know it's not easy. When they feel like when they watch, they're like, okay, that's not super easy, and takes a ice dancer's quality to do it also. So.
And would you say that it's, when you're teaching kind of ice dance elements in synchro, would you say that it's a similar coaching experience, or is it very different to try to teach a team of 16 to do a twizzle or a pair spin versus one team of 2?
But you know what? For me, as a coach, synchronized skating really helps me because it's like talking about statistic, for everything, not only but having this big number of people that understand differently and don't have the same body. You need to find what works. Sometimes you can have in ice dance, if you're lucky enough, you have 2 people, let's say if we talk about pair spin, that are super naturally spinners. So when you have very natural people, sometimes the coaching is very limited because you don't see the mistake. They're doing great. But then when you have 20, of course, out of those 20, you will have some people that will be more natural. You give them this and they will spin in 1 second. The other ones, you really have to think, and you have to go through a lot of the mechanic, and you're so that really helps to learn, actually.
Interesting.
And and same thing with twizzles. If you have people that have done twizzles since they're 8 years old in ice dance and doing it every day, 5 days a week, it becomes natural. Then when you have 20 that are starting, sometimes, especially that twizzles are getting in synchronized skating are getting more difficult, and I hope they will still continue to be more difficult when people will achieve a certain level, obviously, when we'll be able to do even more as a group. Because once again, if some people start to do that type of element when they're 15, 16, it can take a little longer by the time the body really understands how to do this. Even though they're great skaters, if you've never done it, myself, in ice dance when I was a kid, the guys were never doing twizzles. I did my first twizzle in 2000, 1999, 2000. That was my first twizzle series. Before that, I never did a twizzle.
Interesting.
So
how
you
the
have
sport has
to
evolved.
learn and put it into your body. So that's why now, if I look at the ice dancers, like versus when we did beginning of the 2000 something versus today, that these skaters learned from such a young age to get to this. Twizzles are more natural. So I'm sure in synchronized skating with the years, it's going to become the same. And in a few years, because we're all learning from a lower level and at a young age, then senior skaters like doing the twizzles will be like just like doing a push, like, you know, like it's going to be very different.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, synchro has, like you said earlier, it's evolved so much over the last 10 years. Like the skating skill level and the base level of skating that you see in the sport has just like exponentially improved. And I think we've seen so much more of a focus on skating skills to the point where now, I mean, you look in Russia and there's novice teams doing triple and quadruple twizzles, like perfectly synced. And it's exciting for the future of the sport when you start seeing skating like that at such a young level, because really the sky is the limit.
Yeah, now we just need more people and more teams.
Yes.
And coming back to your original question, to the first one, what stops people, I think, is not knowing.
This interview is brought to you by Jackson Ultima, the figure skate company. Utilizing their advanced Apex technologies, including higher stanchions, tapered edges, and titanium coating, Apex Dance and Synchro blades are the choice of champions. Combined with their low-cut design boots that promote maximum flexibility without compromising support, Jackson Ultima provides the perfect match. Okay, we're gonna jump into what is on your feet. Are you currently, do you wear any Jackson products?
Yes, I wear Jackson boots. I've been wearing Jackson boots for many years.
Yeah.
So.
And are they the low cut in the back, or which? What's?
No,
you know?
no. Well, they're they're normal and they're beautiful because like they're like a suede, black suede. So it's, I don't know the new ones because I don't change as a coach. I don't change my skates very often, but very comfortable. Like these are the ones that's why I use those, because like I feel like they're comfortable as soon as I wear them. Like it's not wearing them like 10 hours a day sometimes. I need to feel comfortable.
Comfort is key. So in ice dance, I mean, ice dancers wear dance blades, right? Like you'll never see an ice dancer wearing a free skate blade, or am I off there?
No, never.
Always wear,
Never,
So, I mean, when you look at synchro teams, some synchro teams wear, like they'll all wear free skate blades. Some will wear dance blades, some wear synchro blades. For those of you at home that maybe don't know the difference, the dance blade is it's a shorter blade, so it's easier to do footwork and twizzles. They have a smaller toe pick so that you're not getting caught on them all the time. Whereas a free skate blade is longer. It makes it easier to land jumps, and they have more blade on the ice. And then a synchro blade is basically the same length as a dance blade. It just has a bigger toe pick so that you can do jumps, and it makes some of those free skate moves a little bit easier. But Pascal, I mean, in your opinion as an ice dance coach, do you have a preference of what you like to see your athletes in? Do you care if they're in a free skate blade doing synchro?
Honestly, not really. Like we have, most of them will wear either ice dance or synchro blades.
Yeah.
But we've had some wearing freestyle blades, and it's fine. Like for me, also it depends on the style of your team, I guess. Like a team that would use a lot more like freestyle moves maybe would prefer to use those freestyle blades.
Right.
We've seen that in the past. I don't normally check the blades of the teams, but I'm sure if I go and check on some teams, I would say, oh, this team used to do more jumps and more like tricks. They probably use this one.
Yeah.
So, but personally, like we at Les Suprêmes, like we never asked our skaters to wear any type of blades. But like I say, most of the time, even if they start with the freestyle blade, they will switch to a synchro or dance blade.
Yes. So in your opinion, as a synchro coach, when it comes to choreographing a program for synchro and you're kind of weighing out those two sides of really focusing on the technical and maybe making a program that's a bit safer, maybe a little bit less exciting, less entertaining, but focused on that technical versus something that is entertaining, exciting, and really putting your focus into that but then maybe not being able to have as much time to focus on the technical. How do you kind of balance those two ends of the scale?
I would start the choreography in the spring or in the summer with something a little bit more safe, like technical level higher, but safer in transition. And then as the season was moving, I was changing the programs to finish at nationals and have like a complete program. So I think it's always a question of strategy. And like you said, like you can also start like with the rough stuff and make it like super tough at the beginning, but then after maybe you're going to suffer for a few months before you get success. So it's a different strategy depending. I don't think one is better than the other. I think it's a question of how your skaters can handle and understand that results will come later. Or
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think for a lot of developing teams, that's a tough line to kind of navigate because, you know, especially whether you're a coach or a parent or whatever, like you want the program to be fun and exciting, and you know, you want something different out there, but at the same time it's like, you know, you have to focus on the technical aspect, and so it's tough to know kind of which direction to go.
But you want to see something enjoyable. You want to make sure that when you watch a team, even if it's simple, if you enjoy and the whole time you're like, okay, it's nice, it's well done, I think it's the best strategy instead of being like this the whole time and being scared that something's gonna happen. I think, and I think from a spectator point of view is like that. From a coach point of view, it's even worse. We already have a heart attack, even when everything is set and we know that everything is good. The heart attack is still there. And I think for judges also, they enjoy more a program that is well done than a program that is too challenging for the level of the team. And that scares everybody, and also the skaters included.
What do you tell your skaters before they go on the ice?
Well, before they go on the ice, the last word actually is to enjoy and have fun. Personally, I don't go with those 20,000 corrections because it's not going to happen. Right. Except putting stress on them.
So is it the same approach when you take your ice dance teams to the Olympics? Have fun. Yeah.
Same. Yeah, that's the last word. I think it's the most like stupid small word, but super important because that's all at the end. That's what, like I said earlier, like you train and you suffer and you make all those sacrifices. It's to have fun at the end because you already did the hard part. Just enjoy the last 2, 3, 4 minutes and just enjoy yourself and make the crowd enjoy it as well, and then you'll be happy whatever the outcome is.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think synchro should be in the Olympics?
Of course. We all know that it's a beautiful sport. We all know it has the potential to be there. Do we know? Are we always ready? As soon as possible, but it needs to be well done. We need to go there as a sport, and I think we need to be more than ready to stay because it's easy to go, but easy to be kicked out also. Right. So that's something you don't want. So like again, it's a balance for me. Like you can see in all my answers, like everything is about balance.
Yeah. So I think if this pandemic has taught us anything, it's to be open-minded to change and kind of roll with the punches wherever they may take us. And as long as you stay kind of, you know, optimistic and keep your end goal in sight, if things have to change a little bit, it doesn't mean that your goals have to end. So hopefully
that's it.
That will be something that can help us in our quest for Olympic inclusion.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to finish off with a hot seat rapid fire. So quick questions, quick answers. Nothing crazy. We're just going to put you right on the spot. First question, best country you've ever visited?
Oh, best country. This is so hard because a lot of countries are so good. I really enjoy Croatia because I am very attached with my synchro team there that I work with. So,
your favorite food?
I really like Italian dishes.
If you had to live somewhere other than Canada, would it be Croatia or somewhere else?
I like a little bit of every country that I visited, and I think I could find a way pretty much anywhere, whether it would be in Asia and in Europe or anywhere. I think I would make it as a good experience, very positive.
What is the most exotic or crazy food you've ever tried?
Hey, I don't go very exotic. No, honestly, no. No, really, I don't go very exotic.
Mm,
I not that I choke because I don't care about eating anything as long as I know I won't be sick.
right.
Like you could tell me to eat spider, and I would if you tell me I won't be sick. If you
Right.
promise I won't be sick and I won't have any problem, I will take it.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
If you had to pick another sport other than figure skating, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, this is a hard one. You say it's quick question, quick answer, but
It's a hot seat, hot seat,
yeah,
hot
I know, I
potato.
know, I know. But my gosh, because so many sports are great, but now today where I am in my life, it's very different because I'm older. So if I have to choose today, the only sport I can go to Olympic is curling.
What is one travel essential you cannot leave home without?
Easy cream, face cream, facial cream. You know what? If I go with like modern stuff, I need my phone.
What is one interesting fact that no one knows about you,
Oh well, no one. Oh
or
no,
that most people don't know?
no. People would know that that I've played piano in my life for 15 years. That I've been a soccer player. Like I've done a lot of sports when I was a kid. Different things. That's something that I think is super important. And I can tell you one more thing. But that was when I was a kid. But I wanted to be the Pope.
Oh, what is one positive thing you're taking from 2020?
Well, I was lucky enough to see my friends and my mother a lot more. So
Mm.
that's the positive things because usually when I travel, I don't have the chance to see these people as much.
And one thing that you're looking forward to in 2021?
Well, go back to that skating thing and make new programs again. Now that's going to be super exciting, I think, to see everybody again in person, actually give someone a hug.
Absolutely. Well, Pascal, thank you so, so much for your time and for joining me in the hot seat today. It's
Yeah,
been a
thank
real
you.
pleasure talking with you, and hopefully you have a very happy holiday and all the best with your travels in the new year and coaching in
Thank you. It
2021.
was a pleasure for me too. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we'll see each other in a rink sometime soon.
Yes.